Hello, it is an awesome pleasure to be with you guys today. Um, I wanted to do an icebreaker, but before we do that, we want to do a very important step. We want to take our pizza pan or piece of stone and we want to put it in our oven and preheat it to 500. So if you have a small space, you might want to open a window because it's going to get hot. So I'm going to go do that right now. And I'm going to just move this a little bit so you can see my oven. So And this step is because you don't want to, what you don't want to do is put a cold pizza onto a cold pan and put it in the oven because as it bakes, you have the toppings that are already cooked or cooking, expelling extra juice and oil, and it messes up the cooking process of your dough. So it has some pieces might become soggy, it won't be as crispy as you like it. And who wants a soggy pizza? So, I would love to know a little bit about you guys before I sit there and I take the floor and talk about me. So, if anyone would like to, just start with who they are and what they want to do or what they're going to major in and their name and all that, that would be great. So I know exactly, we get to know each other a little bit. Me. I am, can anyone hear me? Just, or just,
I can hear you.
perfect. Um, okay, cool. So did anyone want to, say their name and, what they plan on doing? Anything fun, exciting on this rainy day or plans for future before I continue with the class, just so that, I mean, I get to know who I'm teaching for, this hour.
I do see some responses in the chat, Michelle. I don't know if you're able to see that.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, there we do. Yes, I do. Oh, that's beautiful. Becca said forensics. That's awesome. That is some.
Hi, my name is FIFA, and I'm 14, and I want to be a lawyer in human rights.
I don't. It kind of stopped. I don't know if it went back to mute or froze or not.
Wait, do I have to say it again, or?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't. I just heard the hi and then it just went out. I'm sorry.
My name is Afifa, and I'm 14, and I want to be a lawyer in human rights.
Well, God bless you, and hopefully that's great. That is amazing. Actually, I see some early childhood. I see welding. I see CPS worker. These are all great math and science. I see that these are all great aspirations. I pray that everything works out and that because we need more people, especially more activists, more people, in our community that fights for our children and everything like that. So I love, getting to know new people and where their plans are in life. At one point I didn't know that I was going to be a chef. Um I honestly, in the beginning, I used to do art, I used to draw. So this was a slight change, but I always loved to cook. I cooked around my mother, my grandmother, my aunts, especially around the holidays and stuff like that. So with that being said, it just took off. After I was able to start working since 16 to now. I've always been in the culinary industry. So Waiting on that or in our ovens to preheat, we can start right into prepping our dough. So if everyone in their kit has a small container of flour, this is to dust your work area. And so what we're gonna do is open it. Now, I don't know if you can see my little work area over here. And we're just gonna take it, we're gonna dust it around. Now you don't wanna do a lot because your dough will be moist still and it soaks up the flour and it can change the texture of your dough if you work it in there too much. You just want it so that it doesn't stick. So it's easy to pull off and put onto your pan once it's hot enough. So what we're gonna do is take it right out, place it, and you wanna try to put it into a circle motion. Now see the dough, and as I'm slowly pressing it with my one hand to the form of a circle, you can see it bouncing back, which is a really good sign that I'm going to have enough gluten activate, enough yeast and everything in here that is going to give me a soft crust, but it's still going to be strong enough and sturdy enough to hold my toppings. So now, this part I'd like to do with my hands, but you guys should have rolling pins. You could also roll it out, but rotate it as you roll it, continuously into a circular motion so that it keeps that circle. Now you might want to dust both sides, but as I said, lightly dust it so that your rolling pin doesn't stick to the dough, or you can actually take the flour in your hand and run some across the rolling pin, which is another way to dust it so that it doesn't stick to your dough. Now, the dough size, I gave you about 12 ounces of dough, so that'll yield a pie size of 12 inches. For each ounce of dough is an inch on a piece of pie. So you can make anywhere between an 8-ounce to a 12-ounce pie with the dough I gave you. Now, you want the crust. Obviously, you depend on the thickness, the thinness, obviously by how much you stretch your dough. So right now, so how's everybody doing with the stretching? Sometimes I like a little personal, but when I cook for my family, I make a bigger piece or bigger piece of pie. Right. So as you can see, we have we have a nice piece of dough. Now I wait until I get my stone out the oven before I put the toppings on, because if we put it on early, again, it'll bleed through and it'll ruin your dough. You won't be able to pick it up and put it onto the stone and then put it into the oven without it making a mess. So once our ovens, is anyone's oven already preheated to 500 with the stone in?
Yes.
Okay, so I got one. Mine's is still going. She usually screams at me when it's ready. Um, so going back to culinary. Has anyone traveled? Has anyone, how's everyone doing with this whole pandemic, all the COVID stuff? Has anyone left the area? No. I mean, I only recently went to North Carolina in January. I'm going again in June, but I've seen a good and no. Yeah, traveling, I have to do a whole test before I go, test before I come back. And they had me quarantined for 2 weeks when I came back. So, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. Oh, we went to Florida twice. Yes, that is, I actually went to Florida. Actually, when I went to school, I went to Florida to work at Disney for 7 to 8 months. I worked in Magic Kingdom at a restaurant called Be Our Guest for my externship. It was in Orlando, and it was fun. It was a great, great experience. I came back, because obviously my family is up here, but I miss it. I'm not gonna lie. I miss the beautiful weather. I miss, the fast pacedness because, everything has to be perfect. Everything has to be on time, pristine because, they're creating a magical experience for everyone else. So I mean, it was a really good thing, especially, for me to see a different aspect of the culinary world where everything has to be perfect. There's no room for just, because in some restaurants you can get away with minor imperfections, but at Disney they did not play any games. But and then after that I went to France and that was a whole another experience out there too. So I mean, travel travel is good. Travel is fun. Anyone else's ovens preheated? I know I had one so far.
Mine is.
Okay, so I have two, three. All right, a few minutes out. All right, so with your dough, I want you to move it just so it doesn't stick because I know that we've been waiting for a little bit. You might want to put a little bit more flour down because it can stick to your surface because as I said, it'll soak up that flour. So just lightly dust your area again if it's starting to stick. If not, don't worry about it. But you just want to make sure it doesn't stick to your surface because sometimes it could be a little pain to get it off. Let me check my oven. It's still preheating. Got this going. So everyone got their sauces, their toppings. All right. So I noticed that everyone's ovens are starting to come up to temperature, which is a good thing. So we should be able to go on to the next part. Okay. So what are you guys' favorite things to eat? What are your favorite cuisines or favorite dishes that you know you just gravitate to when you go out?
Pizza.
All right. Well, I guess that's a good thing we're in this class because you know, pizza. I'm not gonna lie, pizza is a good one. When I go out, you know, sometimes and I want something greasy, but I don't want a burger or something like pizza is usually what I gravitate to. Oh, seafood is good too. Seafood is another one of my weaknesses. But I mean, pizza, seafood, um, spaghetti. Spaghetti is good too. Yeah, I like breads and pastas. Yep, hot wings. Mm, yeah, wings too. I mean, hey, we're all on the same page. I mean, I'm a chef, so I have to be versatile with my palate. So, you know, I at least try everything once. Now, maybe twice. But if after the second time I don't like it, I don't do it again. That's a rule for thumb for me. I can't.
What is one of your favorite foreign dishes?
One of my favorite foreign dishes. Um, it might sound gross. I'm not gonna lie, but when I was in France, they had something called escargot, which is snails. And so they actually braised it, cooked them, and they took them out the shells. But while they cooked it, but they actually served them with the shells in kind of like a decorative form on the plate. And I mean, they were good. I ate them, but because I was this foreign meal for me, I paid for it later. But I mean, during the process and during the, you know, getting the whole ambiance of the experience, I mean, I enjoyed it. I was out with my professor who is from France. So I mean, like he called it, no, it's nothing. And he was just throwing them back like they were chips. And everyone at the table were all American and we're just looking at this cuisine and we're like, what are those? And then I actually went to the market where they got them from and they sell them alive in a bag. And we're just like, yeah, this is new. But that's one of my foreign dishes that I actually didn't mind eating. And I mean, I would eat again. Uni, which is sea urchin. Um, that's another dish that I've never eaten before, especially in the States. But when I went to France, I did. That's was it had a different texture. Let's just say that, and I'm gonna just leave that alone right there. But uni and escargot. Um, has anyone traveled outside of the States? Has anyone traveled anywhere other than, you know, in the United States and tried something different? Or actually had someone, you know, a relative that's from like maybe outside of the state that actually came over to cook something?
When I was in high school, I went to France and had snails. That was really nice.
So we share the snail situation, huh? Yes. I went to Nice. What part did you go to?
Paris.
Ah. I touched down in Paris. I didn't have the luxury of actually staying. But yes, it was definitely a fun experience. I was there for a week. Just Michelin star restaurants, learning under some of the, some names they're well known in France. But all right, how's everyone's ovens looking? And mine's just screened. So everyone's ovens up to temp. All right. So now this is going to be hot. So I need everyone to have something to protect themselves. Oven mitt. I'm old school, so I use a towel, but if you guys have an oven mitt, that'd be great because you're gonna have to take it out and put on your stove or on a high heat, tolerant surface. So I'm gonna go grab my piece of stone so you guys can see. I'm gonna bring it over, put it right on the holder. Now, the transfer of the dough to the piece of stone is very simple. What I like to do is I like to make sure that I have enough flour lightly dusted. Because what we're going to do is we're going to quickly fold it like so, pick it up, transfer it. Then we're going to open it back up. Just like that. Now, when we do that, you should start to hear or feel your crust start to cook and form and feel the residual heat through your pie crust. So what you're going to do, and this is when we get to be fun and creative. You get to take your sauce and get to put it on. However many sauce, like you guys each have 2 sauces, each have 2 doughs. I gave you 2 doughs, just in case if someone messes up. But if you don't, grab another dough to do a whole nother piece of whenever you want. Also, you have all your toppings, your cheese. So some people do it differently. Some people do the cheese and then toppings and they drop their sauce. Some people take their sauce and do exactly what I'm doing now. Now, some people like extra sauce, so you do whatever you want. To each is their own. And wherever, just make sure that you form however crust you want. A thick crust, you can leave a big space. If you want a thin crust, you can, or some people put it all the way to the edges. You can do whatever you want. This is all you. So you're creative. Some people feel that chefs are, it's a simple job, but, we are actually, sometimes artists and architects, especially with baking, because you have to do a lot of measurements and all that. Then put your cheese on. Your lovely cheese. You stretch this out. Spread it out. Who loves cheese? I'm a cheese person. Cheese to me is good. Cheese to me equals happiness. Except for certain cheeses. Like there's certain cheeses, like there's a cheese in one of the states I was learning about that I can't get behind because it's a smelly cheese. And if it offends one of my senses, I see a raised hand. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying I'm a cheese person.
All right. Cheese is good. Cheese is awesome. So now that we've got our cheese done, you can display your toppings however you want to. This one, I'm going to choose pepperoni. You put it on however you like. Some people are very particular. They got to be, same amount on each row. But I like to just, put it on, let the flavors blend together. My dad likes pepperoni. My mom likes sausage. So whenever I cook pizza, I have to make 2 separate ones, which is a good thing that I got 2 doughs. But my parents are very particular on their foods. So with that being said, anyone need help? Everyone good? We're all on the same page?
No, but this sauce smells really good.
I'm glad you like the sauce. I'm glad you like it. You're on the sauce part. Everything's good with the dough. Transferring it to the pan. I won't move until you guys tell me what you guys need. Anyone need anything from me? So that we can all put it in at the same time.
Nope.
All right. So if we're all ready to transfer it back to the oven, what I'm going to do is going to take it. And let me put one more on. Take a piece of stone, and we're going to put it right back into the oven. We're going to close it. We're going to let it do what it does best, and we're just going to let it cook. Now, these pizza at that temperature will take around sometimes 5 to 10 minutes because it's such a high heat. But that's when you get the best crust, you get the best thing. I also use different pizza stones, especially because I also cater, so I have to. Sometimes I have multiple pies. Like one day I had like 10 to 12 pies at a time, and they were all within a certain time span. So I know you guys have the metal pans, and I do have one, but mine has holes in it. Or I do have, when I make my little personals, I have one that is metal, straight steel. So, but these can also be used to serve your pieces on. So what I do is, if I have another pizza to cook, I'll use this one as a backup, take the cooked pizza off, put it on here, and transfer my new dough onto my piece of stone that I just took out because it's constantly hot and it'll cook my pieces faster than if I was on. So as I constantly have it in the heat and rotating, I have at least 2 of these, so I can at least do 3 pieces within about 20 minutes to a half hour. If I space it out correctly and stuff like that. So, which is a good part, especially if I have big orders. Like one time a friend ordered 4 pieces and she wanted them. She called me at noon and she needed them by 3, but I had to make the dough. The longest thing that takes time with making pizzas is the dough. You can't have a good pizza without good dough. All the ingredients can be great, but if the dough isn't correct, then everything is thrown off. So the dough usually takes me about an hour because you have to mix it, knead it, and you have to let it proof. You can't rush the proofing process. Proofing is when you get all the gluten and all the structure of the dough that'll give it that nice bite, the nice crunch and chew, especially when you have a crust and all that stuff. So as we continue to, go through, when we cut it, you'll see when the crust part, when you usually see the holes in the crust, that's because the gluten structure from the kneading and from the proofing with the yeast and everything reacting with the dough, and that's what gives the crust, all its body and its texture. Some people use bread dough. I just use a high percent all-purpose flour. Anyone have any questions? Anyone have anything they want to share? This floor is open.
How many times do you travel within like a year?
I'm usually stateside most of the time. I don't really travel unless, there's some learning attached to it. Like as I said, when I went to France, it was for a week. I went to learn and study everything. I to study for my culinary. So I learned some stuff. I got some new recipes, which is really great, and I can't wait to try them. I see. What did I put in my dough? I put garlic, a little bit of salt, sugar, some oil. We got the water. We got the flour. We got yeast, which is what activates the sugar, which what makes it come alive and makes the dough rise, which is what gives it the beautiful texture that it has. And then I put a little bit of Parmesan cheese in it too to give it some extra flavor. But yeah, I don't like plain dough. I don't like, everyone go to a pizzeria, and, some places they just, water, yeast, sugar, salt, and, it's a little bit of oil, and then they mix it up and they just say, here you go. But, some people like to put some love into it. So I feel like cooking is a love thing. And there's a saying that says that when you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And it is honestly true. I could cook literally 24/7. Like it is literally, I literally wear my job on my sleeve. Or like when people see me, they say, oh, there goes the chef. And it's funny because at my church, my bishop, he calls me his personal chef. Like he is and he has me cook for his anniversary just about since I've been doing it. I've done it for 2 years now. So I cook for about 100, a little bit less than 100 people every year. for his anniversary. So I mean, it's it's a great feeling to know that, I feel like you just know when you're in the right profession. It's just when you wake up every day and you're looking forward to, you know, that day because you know that you're going to do something that you're passionate about. So I encourage you guys that when, I have lawyers, I have, child education workers, I have teachers, I have welders, I have whatever you set your mind to do, give it your all and just make sure that is something that you absolutely love. It stays in for about Shelly, the pieces should, as I said, should stay in for about 5 to 10 minutes. We can go check them now, actually. Let's check and see how our process is. My pieces can be in there for about another 2 minutes. I like my crust slightly brownish on the top, but I mean, cheese is melted, pepperoni, and everything's flowing. How's everyone's pieces looking? All right, I see good. I see some goods going. All right. How long does it take to become a chef? Honestly, I feel like there's not really a time limit on becoming a chef. I'm always learning. So, um, I went to school online because actually, um, my mom she got sick, so I couldn't leave physically. So I just happened to find a culinary school online, and I did my culinary that way. And I got my certification within a year and a half, because you also have to do an externship after that, which is why I ended up in Disney. But there's like there's different levels of chefs. There's master chef, there's iron chef, there's different type of certifications that chefs can get. And those chefs that are higher up with the more certifications, obviously they cost more. Like a personal chef, all this stuff. Like I can become a personal chef, but for me to become a master chef or an Iron Chef, I have to go through certain certifications, certain classes. I have to have a certain standards, a certain certifications under my belt before they can even acknowledge me on that level. So becoming a chef, it can be a year to 2 years, depending on what level you want to be. Would I ever go on a cooking show? Absolutely. Absolutely. Honestly, I really want to. I want to do Hell's Kitchen a little bit, but I'm kind of scared because Ramsay, as much as I would love to meet him, sometimes it seems like a little jerk. And I know that my mama raised me like, someone talks to you type crazy, you let them know you don't talk to. And Ramsay, he's one of those. Yeah, he is kind of scared. So I mean, after that, I'm just like, I just know the type of person I am. I'm gonna have to sit down and have a conversation with him beforehand. Like, look, if I mess up, just tell me I messed up, but don't. There's a threshold, don't cross. But he's one of those because it's meant to mess with your psyche and stuff like that to make sure it's TV. So, but on the other hand, I was thinking of Chopped or stuff like that. Like the mystery boxes always seem to like intrigue me. But it's time. Top Chef. Top Chef Yeah, Top Chef too. But I would have to I really want to be well rounded in certain things because you don't know what these places are going to throw at you. And the last thing you want to do is go in blind, but you can't over prepare for anything either. So I mean, just sometimes, but the worst thing you could do is to be so worried about the outcome of something and it make it stop you. Um, how long can you store pizza dough? In the refrigerator, because it's just fresh. Actually, while we're talking, let's go check this pizza. I have my pizza peeled. And yes, she is ready. So what we're going to do is pull it out. And I'm going to bring it over for you guys to see it. Nice golden brown pizza. I'm going to put it right on my lovely pan right here. Now my cutter, or if you don't have one, I usually use butcher knife. Shelly, it's okay. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna tell you right now. When I started out making them, because what I always do before I do anything to teach anyone or to sell it or to, especially if someone asks me, oh hey, can you do this? I try it first, and I have my family as my guinea pigs. Sometimes they love it, and sometimes they can't stand it. I'll cook something. I'm just like, this is what I need you to try. It's like, oh, but I don't want it. I said, but you want to at least eat a piece of it and let me know what you think. So, or my mom, she'll come to me like, oh, hey, I want this. I'm just like, okay, I'll figure it out. I'll figure out how to put it together. But it's okay if yours didn't come out as a circle because for a long time, mine's didn't. Mine's was squares. Mine's was like half circle triangles. It was crazy. So don't worry about it. And going back to the pizza dough question, in the refrigerator, because it's fresh dough, you can store it for up to, I'd say 2 days because it's fresh. But if you freeze it, I'd say a week to 2 weeks. But after that, I discard it because it starts to lose its structure while it's freezing and it starts to break down, and I wouldn't recommend it. So cutting it is simple. If you have a pizza cutter, great. But if not, I like using my knives or a piece cutter, but just cut straight down. Make sure you get it all the way through. Sometimes it's crispy crust, right?
And students, if you're able to, take a picture of your pizza and send it to either myself or your AC. That way we can make an Instagram post of all the pizzas you guys made.
All right. And go through again. There we go. We got our lovely pizza. We got our nice golden on the bottom. But as you see, I'm going to take a slice. You got the nice crust on the bottom, nice and golden. Got your nice golden crust on the I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh no, I was saying this is my pizza.
Yes, it is awesome. Look at that. That is beautiful. Yes. Okay, so chef, I see you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What everyone else's pieces look like. This is some good little pieces. Yes.
Oh, that looks so good, Kishari.
Thank you.
That pizza is on point. Your pizza, I mean, as long as pizza, I'd say probably the same. You could probably have it in your refrigerator for up to 3-4 days because it's already cooked. All you gotta do is reheat it. But I usually take mines, and what you want to do is you reheat it in the oven and put a little, like a metal pan, with a little bit of water, and put it into the oven with it. So as it heats up, it's not hardening your crust, but it's keeping it moist. So that's a way to get everything hot, but not to the point where you have, burnt crust and you still have, melty cheese and decent toppings. Any more questions?
Would everybody feel comfortable with turning their cameras on so we can take a group picture? You can either show your whole pizza, a slice, because I'm sure some of you probably already started digging in.
I was about to say, so, my pizza calling me now playing.
Is everybody ready to take the group photo? All right, we got Kiama. I see she's getting into that pizza.
Oh, we got almost. Okay, so said her still in. What's yours looking like, Shelly?
All right, wait, everybody hold on. We didn't take the picture yet. Okay, we're gonna take it quick. Everybody just turn your cameras on one more time. Sophia, are you able to take the picture or do you want me to take it?
I'm just doing a screenshot, so yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, Brianna. I know you're
I tried.
I see that pizza. All right.
Michelle, how many minutes did we leave our pizzas in?
We had it in there for between 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
Morgan, what's your pizza looking like? Is yours out? And Shelly, what is yours still in too? All right, Morgan's is done. Shelly, how about you? There we go. Her pieces. Oh, it's a cute pizza. It's cute. I like it. Yes. Okay. He said his pieces. I'm glad you like the pizza. The other guys picked the toppings. as I said, you guys got some good choices with the topics. Well, let me cut this food. You know what? Now I'll eat one. We'll eat one together. How about that? All right. So any more questions? Anything else that you guys want to ask me? You're curious about, want to know?
Thank you so much, Michelle, for hosting this event for us and preparing all the kits and ingredients.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, not. It's my pleasure. I can't, thank you enough for the opportunity to, stand here and, share my enthusiasm for my passion. This has been a great experience for me to just sit here and spend this amazing hour with you guys, doing something. No, thank
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys have been awesome. You guys have some great plans for your future aspirations. I wish you guys nothing but the best.
Thank you. Hope I can meet you again sometime.
Absolutely. I have. Just let me know. We'll figure it out. I'm quite sure that this will not be the last time we all probably come together to do something. Because as I said, this is what I love it. This is what I do. This is literally, as I said, I am doing this for the rest of my life. Like I don't plan on changing careers anytime soon.
Look at an email.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I do have an email. My but what I can do is with my email, we'll talk. I'll just put it that way because right now I don't want to shake the camera any more than it has already been shifted and shaken today during the class. But I greatly appreciate you guys taking your hour out to just spend time with me as we do this PC event. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. You guys have a great day. Does anyone else